The UN urges Turkey to end its military operations in northern Syria, calling to impose an immediate armistice in Kurdish-held areas. One America's Kristian Rouz has more.
We do not believe Turkey's unilateral military action will resolve its underlying security concerns.
The UN Security Council shows a rare example of unanimity in its condemnation of Turkey's ongoing military invasion of northern Syria. During a meeting in New York Wednesday, the 5 permanent members, including Russia and the US, agreed Turkey's actions pose a threat of a pointless humanitarian disaster. The UNSC statement comes as the first result of direct Russian-American cooperation in the war-torn country.
We continue to call on Turkey to take the following critical steps. Cease undermining the campaign to defeat ISIS. Cease endangering civilians. Cease threatening peace, security, and stability in the region. And cease its offensive and declare a ceasefire immediately.
Russian officials agree, saying they're working with Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan to end his questionable endeavor. Erdogan is set to visit Moscow on October the 22nd to discuss the matter and his growing reliance on Russia in foreign affairs. But before that takes place, the Turkish president will meet with Vice President Mike Pence and State Secretary Mike Pompeo in Ankara this week to see what President Trump has in store for him.
And I think it's a problem that we have very nicely under control. We put massive sanctions on Turkey, and we have additional sanctions on Turkey.
The recent statement from the UN Security Council comes amid an intensified fighting on the ground in Syria. Kurdish forces launched a counter-offensive with the help of Russian troops and the Assad forces, while the Russians also secured the strategic Kurdish towns of Manbij and Kobani. This means Turkey has very little time to secure its territorial gains of the past few days before the Russians complete their deployment along the Syrian-Turkish border. Knowing this, all sides are now seeking negotiations, even Erdogan, who until recently rejected any possibility of talks.
We remain committed to the unity, sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Syrian state.
While the latest Turkish push into Syria appears to be inevitably heading towards a negotiated agreement, the Syrian conflict may be entering a new chapter. The UN is advancing talks on changing Syria's constitution, something the Assad regime is not opposed to. And the question of Kurdish autonomy within Syria is set to dominate the talks, yet it remains to be seen if Assad maintains a flexible stance on the matter once the war is finally over. Kristian Rouz, One America News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.